G8 leaders from the world's top industrialized nations wrapped up a two-day summit in Northern Ireland today. President Obama and other heads of state touched on everything from resolving the civil war in Syria to vowing to close tax loopholes around the globe. Steve Sedgwick has more now.
Here in Northern Ireland at the G8 summit, David Cameron perhaps achieved a lot more than many had expected. The official agenda was all about trade, tax and transparency. And on that front, he had a very successful meeting, agreeing new rules for taxation on a global basis, including automatic sharing of company details. That could have ramifications for the Amazons and Starbucks of this world. New trade deals potentially in the offing as well. A $100 billion deal between the EU and the US could be on the cards as soon as the end of 2014. And for the developing world, a deal on transparency for those mining companies as well. But coming into this meeting, there were a lot of concerns that Syrian issues and the conflict there would actually act as a deterrent to getting a deal done elsewhere. And despite resistance from the Russians and President Putin, especially, we do appear to have a 7-point plan from the G8 as to sorting out the conflict in Syria, including key point here about having a transitional government to pave the way to some form of consensus government and some form of democratic institutions in Syria. So very important there. They also condemned the use of chemical weapons in Syria here at the G8 and talked about $1.5 billion of new humanitarian aid. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Steve Sedgwick in Enniskillen.